Hello, everybody. Do you want to maximize your shrimp breeding? Do you want to have thousands and thousands of shrimp babies crawling all over your tanks? Well, the way you feed can make a big difference. In this video, I'm going to cover what in the world do shrimp even eat, and what is the best thing to feed them, and how much should I be feeding my shrimp? Well, let's get busy covering all those topics. So first things first, what do shrimp even eat? Well, that's a little complicated because shrimp are scavengers. And so that means they'll eat whatever they can get their little grubby shrimp hands on. So they'll graze on algae all day long, but if there's another dead critter, possibly even another shrimp or a fish, they will gladly take the opportunity to get a big dose of protein. So they will literally eat anything that has nutritional value. Plucko poop, they'll eat it. Pretty much, if you imagine it, they'll eat it. I've even had a dog throw a rawhide bone into one of my tanks. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but when I found it, there are hundreds of shrimp all over the dog bone. So that just goes to tell you, shrimp will eat about anything. Okay, so now we've covered that shrimp will eat anything that has any nutritional value whatsoever. So, what do we want to feed our shrimp to maximize breeding? Well, it does have something to do with what we feed, but most importantly, it matters to what stage in life is the shrimp at, or if it's even male or female. Baby shrimp, when born, they barely move anywhere. The first few weeks of their life, they are pretty much in one spot. So that means they need to have access to food everywhere in the tank. Needs to be food for baby shrimp. And the best way I have discovered to do that, I've been doing this way for years and years, and that's part this how I feed is partially how I do so good. And that is I grind the food into a very fine powder. This way it disperses all throughout the tank. The babies get whatever they want. The adults, it's there for them as well. And most importantly, like we were talking about, there's food everywhere. Every square inch of the tank gets covered in little bits of food when you powder the food. So powdering the food and making the food available throughout the whole tank is key. But another key is exactly what is in that powder. We covered that shrimp are omnivores. They'll eat about anything. But what is important when it comes to shrimp breeding is that they have lots of protein. The protein will make the babies grow up faster, and it allows the females to make eggs. More protein, more shrimp eggs, more babies, and you put the food everywhere, that means more baby survival. And over the years, through research and trying different things and seeing what works, I have found you get foods high in protein that come from various sources, various different kinds of high protein food, and you want food that is equal amounts animal protein and equal amounts plant protein. In my experience, that is the key to success. So, over the years, I've tried lots of different things, and it all included grinding up a bunch of different foods together, blending them up together, and then feeding my shrimp. I've tried lots of different things, but the animal protein, I have earthworm flakes, I have blackworm flakes, I have brine shrimp flakes, I have bloodworm flakes, and I even have tons of spirulina flakes, and that's our plant protein. So there's a lot of spirulina flakes in it always, and it's a mixture of larvae and worm and different kinds of animal protein that I get in bulk with flakes. Most of the different kinds of food I use have a protein content of at least 45%, and some are even over 50%. So that's a lot of protein, so you got to be careful how you feed it. I have been feeding my shrimp this method for years and years and years. So, and I've always shared what I do on my YouTube videos. So I've had lots of people start asking me probably 2 or 3 years ago if I would start selling it to them. So instead of making like 5 pounds at a time now, I make 10 or 12 pounds at a time, blend it all up, keep 3 or 4 pounds for myself, and then bag up the rest to share with you guys on my website, markshellyaquatics.com. And my food is getting low. My stock to sell on the website, the food is getting low, so it's time for me to make a big batch of food. So anyway, that's you're getting when you buy my food at my website, you're getting the exact same food that I feed my shrimp daily with. So just in case you guys are wondering why I sell food, that's how. You guys asked for it, so I started doing it. Now, the next question is, how much do I feed? How much to feed? Well, that depends on exactly what you're trying to do with your shrimp tank. Are you breeding for profit? Are you like me and trying to make a living from breeding shrimp? If you're doing that, then you're going to try to feed as much as possible. But even though you will make more shrimp, it's a double-edged sword, because the more you feed, the more maintenance and more work your tank becomes. If you just want a nice little shrimp tank to enjoy, you can put a little tiny pinch of food in there once a week and you'll be good. You won't make tons and tons of shrimp, but you'll probably get some breeding and they'll live and everyone will be happy and you will have minimal work to do on your tank. But if you want to breed lots and lots of shrimp, you're going to feed lots of high food, or you're going to feed lots and lots of food high in protein. That means you're going to have a lot of messy cleanup and you're going to have to change a lot of water. I do weekly water changes. All my tanks get at least 20%. Some tanks get as much as 50% every single week. Now, with all that being said, if you're new and if you're afraid of making an error, err on the side of caution. You will always, always, always do way, way, way more harm feeding too much than not enough. You feed too much, you're going to kill shrimp. So be careful. Don't get crazy. Don't overdo it. Anything within reason. So now I'm going to show you how I feed my tanks. And remember what I'm trying to do. First of all, it's going to depend how many shrimp are in there too. You don't want to feed a few shrimp as much as you would feed 1,000 shrimp, obviously. And remember, keep in mind, I am breeding as many shrimp as I possibly can, and this is why I feed as much as I do. So keep that in mind. It's always safe to underfeed some than to feed too much, because you can run into a whole bunch of issues feeding too much. Keep that in mind when I show you this, how I feed. So there you have it. That's how I maximize my shrimp breeding, by the food I feed and how I feed it. We powder the food so that all the babies can get some. There's food available all throughout the tank. Then we feed food that's super high in protein so the females will get buried and the babies will grow up faster. More buried females equals more baby shrimp. Shrimp, high protein food scattered throughout the tank means the babies have access to food and will grow up faster. I've explained to you how it's just powdered high protein food that has a source of animal protein and a source of plant protein. Now, I feel that is huge throughout my experiments over the years on trying different things. Having a nice mix of plant protein and animal protein is pretty important. And if you're wanting to breed a lot of shrimp, you need to feed more But, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. More food means more work, and if you don't put in the work for the food you're putting in, you're going to end up with dead shrimp. And if you just overdo it too much, you're going to end up with dead shrimp. So always, 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 always err on the side of not feeding too much. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on feeding shrimp and how to maximize shrimp breeding with how you feed. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.